Hello, grade 12. So yeah, now let's look at the matric exam paper that was written for 2020. You see, this is what the class of 2020 wrote. So let's see what is it that they were given, you know. So yeah, question one, as usual. This is question that is based on Agebra. So let's see what is it that was happening on their paper. Okay. Um, question one. This is Algebra. Okay, so let's see. What is it that they're given? 1.1.1, as usual, they're always going to get so for x. So 1.1.1. So 1.1.1, they're given x squared minus 6x is easy math. So like you should just try by all means to get everything there. So that I'm here simply going to say x, we factor out x and they're going to remain x minus 6 and this is equals to 0, right? Then this means what? X is equals to 0 or x minus 6 is equals to 0. Here x will be equal to 6. Easy. Okay. There isn't much to do here. So that's how relevant about solving this question. Now we're moving on. 1.1.2, x squared plus 10x plus 8. Okay. X squared plus 10x plus 8, and the since is equals to 0, and it was written there correct to 2 decimal places, right? It was written there. Let me check if I did. Yeah, I did copy it the way it is. So looking at this, what is it that we can see? Remember, the moment they say correct 2 decimal places, we shouldn't stress ourselves. We're trying to factorize this. It's just a matter of us using the quadratic formula, right? So what do we know? We know that the quadratic formula says x is equals to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a, right? This is what we know. So with us having this, what are you going to say? X is equals to negative. What is the value of b? The value of b there, it's 10, as you can see, and then plus minus the square root of b squared. So we're going to have 10 squared minus 4. Our a there, it's 1, and then our c there is 8, okay? All divided by 2a, and a here is 1. So that is what we're simply going to do there, okay? Now, having your calculator with you, remember what I do. I'm going to put my negative 10 outside here and plus minus the square root of, I just punch everything that is inside here, everything that is inside in the calculator. So I don't want to stress myself, you know. So let's see. What am I going to get if I punch everything in my calculator? So I have 10 squared minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 8. And that is giving me 68. So I have the square root of 68 divided by 2, since 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, give me a moment. Let me put this here. Okay, now let me insert another page. So that is what you're simply doing there. You're not struggling that much. You just have everything. See, you're just flowing. That's the main aim of practicing using past exam papers. So here, since we have plus and minus, what do we do? Split x is equals to negative 10 plus the square root of 68 all over 2, or x is equals to negative 10 minus the square root of 68 all over 2. Okay, then let's see what is it that you're going to get. And what you're going to get, it must be rounded to 2 decimal places. So let me see. Negative 10 plus the square root of 68 all over 2. Okay, that is going to give me negative 0.8. 2 decimal places, negative 0.88, or x is equals to, let me change the sign there. Oh, let me do it afresh. So negative 10 minus the square root of 68 all over 2. Doing this, it gives me negative 9.12 rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, so this is what we get as our answer. So you see, we're just going to be flowing here. People mostly they flow when it comes to question 1. Okay, so hence you just have to try by all means to get everything right on question 1. Okay, now moving to 1.1.3. Okay, so 1.1.3. What is it that we have? Now let's see. 1.1.3, they gave us 1 minus x multiplied by, let's see, what is it that they give us? 1 minus x multiplied by x plus 2, x plus 2 less than 0, right? So what is it that we know? In most cases, okay, we deal with inequalities that used to having it like x should be the one that is 30, right? X minus blah 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 blah, like this one here. But this one, you see, we have 1 minus x, right? So I think it is wise, although you can just do it straight away, but I think it is wise to just if you see a question of this nature, it is wise for you to just what is it, to write it in the standard form first before we can proceed with working it out. Okay, so let's expand and have so that we can factor out things that are of the form x blah blah blah, x blah blah blah, not starting with the number. So let's expand. Now we're going to have 1 times x, that's going to give us x, and 1 times 2, that is going to be plus 2, negative x multiplied by x squared, that's going to be negative x squared, and negative x multiplied by 2, that is going to be negative 2x less than 0, right? Now writing this in the standard form, we're going to have negative x squared, okay? Then we have x here, and we've got minus 2x there. So it means we're going to have minus x here, and then plus 2 less than 0, right? Now, it is important for us to remember that when we see, we don't want to have a negative as what? As the sign of x, right? X squared. So we have to divide by negative so that it can be positive. Now, for us, the moment we divide by negative, our inequality sign changes. If it was less than, it becomes greater than. So let me just put that in writing to say, if I divide by negative here, I'm going to have x squared plus x minus 2, right? Now, the fact that this was less than, remember, dividing by negative, it means this is going to be greater than 0. When you divide by negative, the inequality sign changes to greater than, right? Now, as factorizing this, we're going to have x and greater than 0 here. So we're going to have our factors is 2, and the other one is 1. Which one is positive? So if, as you can see, okay, this is x here. See, this one is positive, so it's 1, right? Positive 1. So it means this is the one that's supposed to be positive, this is the one that's supposed to be minus. But then, if you don't know how to factorize, remember what I said, just use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula will help you, helps with what? Helps with factorization, right? That's what I'm saying there. So if you have a difficulty with factorizing, please use your quadratic formula. Now, after this, we know here, when you look at this, if you assume this to be an equation, what are we going to have as our x values there? Our critical values here. For this part, we're going to have x equal to 1, and for that other part, we're going to have x is equals to negative 2. If this was an equation, it's an inequality, and it has to be accompanied by this table. Remember what I said, just to be accompanied by this table, right? So now, remember I said what? Here you always start with the smallest, which is negative 2, and then you're going to have your 1, right? Now, remember, on inequalities, we have greater than, and I told you that your table, the one is like this, right? When it's these dots are not shaded, so hence I'm just going to leave it not shaded here. But when it's these two, the dots have to be shaded, so you have to write this like this, and then you shade, and then you make the necessary conclusion based on what you're behaving, right? So now it's less than, we know that this is positive minus positive, so this one is what is now greater than, because we divide by a negative, remember. So further is greater than, when you say something is greater than, we know it's approaching the positive, right? So with you concluding your answer, this is something that's very, very straightforward. You don't have to struggle in doing it. Very, very straightforward. So what are you going to do there? As you can see here, this is negative 2, right? So you're just going to our x, we're going to put our x, and you say, you see this sign, where it is going. It's going this way, right? I'm just taking it like that, and then less than negative 2, or x, you see, where is this sign going? It's going that way, so greater than 1. So in that way, you will have gotten the full marks for this question on 1.1.3. Okay, so with that said, we are moving on. 1.1.3, we are done with it. Now we're looking at 1.1.4. So what is it that we have on 1.1.4? On 1.1.4, they gave us what is it? They gave us 1.1.4. They gave us the square root of x plus 18. X plus 18. Okay, and what else do we have? And this is the question 2. Okay, so I want to believe that you are noticing that the structure of the question that they bring in the exam, they are very, very similar. Okay, so you just have to like master the way in which questions are asked. The idea of you answering past exam papers is not to expect the very same question, but to expect the same type of questions. Okay. So with us having this, what are we supposed to do? Obvious, we are solving for x. So this side of the square root. So it means what are you supposed to do here? We're supposed to square both sides. So square root of x plus 18 squared is equal to x minus 2 all squared, right? And when you square this square and the square root, they are going to take, and then this side x minus 2 squared, it means what? It means x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 2, right? Okay, so x plus 18 is equal to x times x, that is x squared, x times negative 2, that is negative 2x, negative 2 multiplied by x, that is negative 2x, negative 2 multiplied by negative 2, that is plus 4, right? Okay, I just hope I'm not making mistakes here. All right, now I'm just going to take this side to say x squared. These two here, they are like terms. I'm going to have negative 4x plus 4, and then this is equals to x plus 18, right? Now I have to take this across so that it aligns with the negative 4x. So I'm going to have x squared minus 4x minus x plus 4, and then this one is it's going to go along with the 4 minus 18, and this is equals to 0. Okay, all right. Now with us having this, what are you going to have? X squared negative 4x minus x, that is going to be negative 5x, right? And then 4 minus 18. 4 minus 18, that is going to give you negative 14, right? And this is equals to 0. Now, you're supposed to factorize this. You don't know how to factorize, go and use a quadratic formula. So let me just open my bracket for the factors. So I'm going to have x, and then equal to 0. And then what is it that is going to be? X is going to be equal to this, or x is going to be equal to that, right? So what does the quadratic be? What is b here? It's negative 5. So negative 5 plus minus the square root of negative b squared minus 4a, it is 1, and then c, it is negative 14, okay, all divided by 2 times a. What is our a there? That is 1. So x is equals to negative times negative 5, that is negative 5, plus minus the square root of everything that is inside. I just put it on the calculator. So I have negative 5 squared minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by negative 40, and that is 81. So I'm going to have square root of 81 divided by 2, right? Now I'm just going to split and get my solutions straight away, right? So I have 5, put plus first, square root 81 divided by 2. In doing that, I get x equal to 7. And then if I change the sign now to minus, I get x equal to negative 2, right? So it means when you reverse this, then it means that you can minus 7, minus this side, and then when it takes inside, it changes the sign to positive. It's positive. When it takes inside, it changes the sign to minus. So that is how we will have went about solving this. But then remember, it is important when it comes to square root, it is important to check your answers, right? We have x equal to 7 and x equal to negative 2, right? So just punch this on the calculator and see if it is going to do the same thing. Now let's see. If I punch square root 7 plus 18, square root 7 plus 18, this side, on my left hand side, I'm getting 5, right? And then on my right hand side, let's see, 7 minus 2, it's 5 as well, you see? So it means this one is the solution and so 5 is the solution. Now let's put negative 2 and see what it is that you're going to get. If I put negative 2, what am I getting? I'm getting 4 on my left hand side. Okay, I'm getting 4 on my left hand side. Right hand side is equals to right hand side. I'm not sure which one is my right hand. So you just have to know when you. So just know there's the left hand side. Right hand side must be equal to left hand side. So I'm getting 4, and then if I put negative 2 this side, okay, the side that is as x minus 2. Negative 2 minus 2. You see, I'm getting negative 4. I'm getting negative. This one is the right hand side, this one is the left hand side. I'm getting negative 4. So you see, the two are not equal. So it means x equal to negative 2 is not the solution, right? So let me just acknowledge that. Let me just acknowledge that. Okay. So you just have to acknowledge that as well when you are doing this on your own to say, okay, since you have seen that x equal to negative 2 is you're going to say x equal to 7 is the only solution. Okay. So in that way, you will have answered the question fully. So that is it. To allow you the 5 marks there. Now moving on, 1.2, solving simultaneously for x and y. Okay. 1.2, we are solving simultaneously for x and y. Okay. So solving simultaneously for x and y, we have x plus y equal to 3. So let me just take that into account to be my equation 1. Okay. And then let's look at equation 2, 2x squared. So equation 2, we're going to have 2x squared plus, let's see, plus 4xy minus what? Minus y is equal to 15. Okay. We know that the goal of solving for x and y is continuous. What is the goal there? The goal is to take the simplest and make it the subject of the formula, right? That's our goal. So now okay, in this equation, you see this one, you have x and y. So it's up to you. Which one do you want to make the subject of the formula? That one is clearly up to you as to which one do you want to make the subject of the formula, right? So now let's work with x being the subject of the formula, or we can work with y being the subject of the formula. It depends which one do you want. So let me just make y to be the subject of the formula. It's my choice. Your choice can be to make x the subject of the formula. So it depends, but then just make the easiest equation to be the subject of the formula. And the easiest in most cases, what we say that is the equation that is got either x or y with its coefficient being 1. Okay, so in these two cases, you have either x or y, so it depends on which one you want to make. So my choice now is to make y the subject of the formula. That's my choice. Don't ask me why is it my choice. It's my choice. So from equation 1, if I make, okay, equation 1 says x plus y is equals to 3, then it means the y is going to be 3 minus x, right? So I've made y to be the subject of the formula. Now, this new equation would be equation 3, right? So with me having my new equation is equation 3, what am I going to do now? I'm going to substitute equation 3 into equation 1. I'll use the equation 1, I'm going to do equation 2, right? So equation 2 says 2x squared plus 4xy minus y is equals to 15, right? This is what we can see. Now, 2x squared plus 4x, where there is y, I'm going to put 3 minus x. So I'm going to have here 3 minus x, right? Minus y, 3 minus x. So I'm going to put my 3 minus x, and everything there is equal to 15, okay? So let's work it out. 2x squared plus 4x multiplied by 3. 4 times 3, that is 12. So I have 12x. 4x multiplied by negative x, that is going to be negative 4x squared, minus multiplied by 3, that's going to be minus 3, minus multiplied by negative x, that's going to be plus x, and everything there is equal to 15. Now let's simplify this side. So we are going to have 2x squared, then there is 12x here, and there is an x there, so it's going to be plus 18x. You see, we're supposed to work it out with this one, but okay, and this is equals to minus 4x squared minus 3, and everything there is equal to 15, right? We have to work out 2x squared and 4x squared, remember. So let me insert another page. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's something that you can see. We have been started, jamming here. You're just flowing here. So that's how it should be. The idea of the exam is you are supposed to answer with confidence. Don't doubt yourself. That's one thing that I must give out as an advice. So 2x squared minus 4x squared, that is going to be negative 2x squared. Then I have plus 18x and 15, right? I'm just hoping that I didn't leave anything out. So negative, okay, negative 2x squared, right? Plus 18x minus 3. I take this one across. Positive this side is going to be minus 2. This is equal to 0. Plus 18x minus 3 minus 15, that is going to be negative 18, right? And this is equals to 0, okay? So I divide throughout by negative to have 2x squared, 2x squared minus 18x minus what? It's minus this one, so it will be plus 18, and this is equal to 0. Factorizing is a problem. Don't stress yourself with trying to factorize. Simply use a quadratic formula. So when I have negative b, which is negative 18, plus minus the square root of b squared, that is negative 18 squared, minus 4a, that is 2. C there, it's what? See there, it's 18. You see, I'm just not even space, but giving you an idea, you're seeing it, right? It will be negative multiplied by negative 18, that is 18, plus minus the square root of everything. Remember what I do? I just punch everything inside the calculator, right? So negative 18 squared minus 4a, that is 2. C, that is 18, right? Okay. Yes. So, and what is it that I'm getting? I'm getting 25. So this is going to be square root 25 over 2 times 2, that is 4, right? So remember, what am I going to have? I have blah, 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 right? My factors, and then what I get from the quadratic formula. So what are my solutions? Let me just check. So according to this thing, let me just check. I'm just gonna punch everything now. 18 plus, agree is plus minus. I'm taking plus first. Square root 25 over 4. I'm getting x equal to 9 over 2, right? And then the other one, minus, I'm getting x equal to 2, okay? I'm getting x equal to 2. So x equal to 2, if I bring it inside the bracket, it's going to be minus 2 here, x minus 2, right? And then this one, it has to first be in this form. I must first make it linear. How do I make it linear? I must have 2x equal to 9, right? And this way it is linear. And if it becomes like this, bringing it inside the bracket, I'm going to have 2x minus 9, right? So that is how it is. So you see, we're just using this here to help you get marks, okay? So hence I advise you to use the quadratic formula at all times. Don't act smart. This is not the right time of you acting smart. Okay, moving on. So you see, now we are looking at 1.3. And I must tell you that the last questions, right? Questions like this, those are questions that, you know, they are not for everyone. You know, I'm not trying to bring in any sentiment, but I'm just saying that questions of this nature, you know, they are questions that, hey, they are not, they are hard, you know, they are not easy for one to solve. But then it's fine. Let's see what is it that was happening here. The last questions is always a problem to many people on algebra, but the other ones, you see, you can get them out of 22 if you have solved everything well. Then 22 minus the last question, that is 19. You'll have gotten your 19. See, how nice is it? Getting 19 out of 22. 19 out of 22, if you're being marked out of the question one only, you see, that's a distinction, 86 point something percent. So how nice is it? But then let's see, how is it, what is it that you're asked to do here? So you're saying to us, if n is the largest integer for which n exponent 200 is less than 5 exponent 300, determine the value of n. So you want us to determine the value of n there, of which we are just simply going to work out, right, through what we see there. Okay, so let's see, how are you going to work this out? So let's see, how is it that we are going to work this out. Let me just go to my, okay, 1.3. So 200, right? And they're saying this is less than 5 exponent 300, right? So this is what they are expecting us to work out, okay? So exponent, you're mentioning exponent here, okay? How can we make this to be to the very same exponent, right? So we know through the laws of exponent, if I have a exponent b, right, I can raise it to an exponent x, right? And this is going to be what? Laws of exponent, they say you take the base and multiply the exponent, so I have exponent bx, right? So I can make these two, from the idea that you have learned here, I can make these two to be raised to a very same exponent. In what sense? I'm going to have n exponent 2, right? And then exponent 100 raised to 100, such that when I say 2 times 100, that's going to give me the 200 there. And then this is less than 5 exponent 3 raised to the exponent 100, right? These two are to the same what? They are to the same exponent, okay? This is the first option that you have on solving this, right? To say, okay, now that these two powers are the same, I can simply bring it down to what? Now I forget about the 100, because the 100 is the one that was making these two to be very, very big, right? So I can work with, what is it? I can solve this just considering what is inside the bracket. Now I'm no longer, like if I put the square root of 100, if I put the square root of 100 this side and I put the square root of 100 this side, I'm going to just done 5 exponent 3, right? And n squared less than 5 exponent 3, this is 125, right? So what would be my n here? What would be my n? So n here would be, okay, if I solve for n, okay, what is the square root of 125? Let's see. Square root of 125. Square root of 125, right? Okay. Square root of 125, it's 11.18, right? So what does the question say? Let's go back. if n is the largest integer for which n exponent 200, right, is less than 500, again, determine the value of n. So you see, we are getting n being 11 point something, right? 11.18. So determine the value of n. So like if n, let's go back to the question. You see, this is something just to do every time you answer the question. If n is the largest integer for which n exponent 200 is greater than 5 exponent 200, like determine the value of n, right? So you see, here you have 11 point what one, and they're saying if n is the largest integer, this is the value that we have. That is what that is giving us a case where in n exponent 200 is less than 500, 5,300, right? How can I make this to be easier so that you can understand what's happening? If n is the largest integer for which n exponent 200 is less than 5,300, determine the. Does that mean? What does that mean? It means n it's what n here, you see, it's decimal, so it just means to you that n integer for which n exponent 200 is less than 5 exponent 200, right? So n is simply 11. You see, and it's simply 11. The other way that you could have worked this out